as you can see, this is a drum trigger pad. It had an output jack, and what it generated is a short burst, a trigger signal, a short click, that will be fed into the brain, into the SDS module, which look like this. And you connected one of those to one of these modules. So that will be like one tom, then you had another tom, which you connected to another tom module, then you had another one, could be also a snare, you connected this to a snare, and then you had a bigger module for the kick. So with this thing you triggered the sound, and since this is a synthesizer, we're going to recreate the synth sound with a VST synthesizer as well. Today we are going to reprogram this iconic drum sound with the Zebra from OS Heckman. You can do it, of course, with any synthesizer you have under your disposal. Without further ado, let's do it. I prepared a little demo for you guys, so you can see this dude in action. Note that the whole song was made only with Zebra2 instances. So let's jump right in here into the arrangement, and as you can see here, the kick is the Zebra, snare drum is Zebra. As I said, everything is Zebra here. So we're going to concentrate on the tom sound. Now it will sound like this at the end, or similar. The Simmons drum sound consists of three components. The tonal component, which is a triangle waveform, and the two other ones is just noise. The first noise is a noise with a longer decay, and the second one is a noise with just a short burst, which makes the attack, it's called click. So it just makes the attack portion of the sound. So we have, again, triangle, then a noise, and then an attack, which is also noise, a very short one. We're going to create the first one now, which is the main tone, the triangle waveform, which is not right now a triangle, but we can change that if we click on this arrow button, and we're going to change this for a triangle waveform. No matter which one, you can use the triangle to saw, the triangle saw pulse, whatever, doesn't matter. I just choose this one. That will be the tonal component. Now it's not really exciting because we have to shape it. So before we go further down, I'm going to explain you the envelope. It's actually very easy. We have the attack, time, decay, sustain, and the release. And of course, we can make it velocity dependent. So if you go, right now it's set to 0, but nothing happens. If we set it to far right, the heavier you play the key, the louder it will be. This direction is completely opposite. But we're going to leave it for now here, but if we want to make it dynamic, we have to put it in this direction. Now, I'm not going to get into this one here, the fall and rise parameter. This is another one to make it even more flexible, but we don't need it yet. But I have to explain you the time base. That means here we can set the time, how much it take the whole envelope to complete. So let's say we have the sustain down to 0 and the decay full on. It takes 8 seconds to complete the whole thing. Now, with the second parameter, it takes 16 seconds. Then the other one is 10 seconds. And the rest is song tempo dependent. But we don't need this yet. We're going to concentrate now on the fastest one, which is the 8 seconds. These modes here, the quadric, the linear, and the V-slope, are the ones we are more interested in. So the linear mode is actually quite easy to explain. So once we start the notes, we reach the attack phase, then it goes to the decay phase, the sustain, and the release. You know, this is the level on the left, this is the time passing by. Linear, that means the time that passes once you press the key from the attack to the decay would be as it's set on your knob. So it takes n milliseconds to go from the attack to the decay. Then it would take n milliseconds from the decay to reach the sustain. And then when you release the note, the time it needs to go down. This is also a fixed time. The other parameter, which is the quadric, or not parameter, the mode, the quadric mode, is a bit different here. Because in quadric mode, we have more exponential curves. That means the attack time here is convex, meaning that once you press the key, it takes some time and then it speeds up at the end. And the decay phase will be concave. That means it would take some time until it goes down. So it's almost like a choke when you have it on the loudness. So it will stay up there and then it will go straight to the sustain level. If the sustain level will be 0, it will be like, you know. And same goes to the release phase. My favorite for now is the V-slope. The V-slope is my favorite because you can switch between all of those with a slider. So this is the slider here on the right, the V-slope here. So what happens is when you put that slider more on the right side, the curve will become more concave. So that means from the attack, decay, and release time, it will like be ramping up very fast and then become slow. In a decay phase, it will stay there and then it goes fast down, again like a choke. And then same with the release phase. And then you put the slider to the left, the curve will become convex. That means it takes some time in the attack to go up, and then it ramps up at the end. And then when it reaches the decay phase, it will go quite abruptly down and then slowing down here at this point. And same goes for the release. It will go faster down and then slowing down there. So that's basically it. And if you have it in the middle, you have a linear response like this one here that I explained in the beginning. So for now, we're going to use the concave version for the loudness because we need a maximum impact and we wanted to have the tone staying there. And for the pitch, I'm going to use the more convex version of it, you know, not 100% convex because we need the convex version for the pitch because I wanted to have the pitch go faster down. So we have this doo sound. Yeah, that's what we're going to use. So now I'm going to use this slider. Okay, then the most important thing for a drum would be the pitch. So we're going to add another envelope to modulate the pitch. So what we have here is an envelope 2. I also set the envelope to V-slope mode, but the complete opposite to concave. And I'm going to modulate here the pitch. Okay, this is sounding already like a tone without the noise component. Now we can add also velocity sensitivity to the loudness. And this is what we are going to do here. And later on, we're going to add also velocity to the pitch, but we can do it right now. Because what happens when you hit a drum is that when you hit it heavier, the pitch will go a bit higher. So we can emulate that by raising the velocity here. Okay, I'm gonna it's a bit too much. That's enough. So, this is the tonal component. Sounds not really exciting. Now we are going to add a noise oscillator. Okay, we are almost there. That sounds similar. But the other problem is with that noise is that we needed to have a different envelope for this noise. So I'm going to add another envelope, which is going to modulate the loudness. Because in the original SDS4, it sounded to me that the noise decay was a bit independent from the decay from the tonal component. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the envelope 4 for this. So, and for the noise curve, I use again V-slope mode. As you can see here, the tonal component is a bit longer and the noise not that long. So we well, that's sounding nice for now, but we're not done yet because we missed that initial attack. So we get the initial attack from another noise, which we are going to add now, and I'm going to modulate here the noise with the loudness of that noise with another envelope. So I'm going to add here another envelope. And we're going to use envelope 3 for that. And that envelope will help us to go where we want to. So this envelope, number 3, I'm going to use concave because I wanted to have the short burst and then it should stop. Yeah. And now if we mix these 3 components together, and I'm going to fade in the longer noise of the second oscillator here. Then you can see we have now the attack sound. This is that's basically it. We are done. No, we're not. Still something is missing. The SDS had also a filter built in. And that filter was only applied to the noise oscillators. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix only the noises together into one channel, into this row here. We're going to use a mixer. And when you right click on the mixer, you can set the input. So I'm going to set it to input 2, which is this guy. And the second input I'm going to use here. This is called sidechain here, but with a mixer, it is just an input. We have these 2 noises going down here. One thing for sure, we have to mute this noise here in the middle because this noise will be mixed here in this module and goes to the output here. So next thing is the pan mode. I'm going to set it to pan mono. So when you have it on the right, you have the short burst from the noise 2 and the longer noise from noise 1. And you can mix them together. as you like. Sounds good already. But we are not done yet. Very important, the filter I told you. So we right click here. So I'm adding another VC, I'm adding a VCF to it. And cool thing is, I could use this. So for that, I'm changing the low pass filter to another one, and I found this TN6SVF filter very cool to do that. I also love to drive the filter a bit. So it will make it a bit more aggressive though. And by raising the resonance on this guy, you can make it more directing. We could also go a bit more further and modulate this guy. So it sounds even more like, you know, the decay of the pitch will also affect the decay sound of the noise from the filter. So it sounds more natural, like this. So let's see. I could add this short guy from envelope 4. Nice, eh? Okay, we're going to lower a bit the resonance, so it sounds like not that much. Adding a bit more drive. Well, sounds cool. Since we're using envelope 4 now for the filter, I could also add a bit more velocity. So that means the lower the velocity, the lower the filter will be. Like, it will be muffled when I'm having low velocity, and it will be more open when I press the keys harder. That's basically it. The rest will be in the mixing. I think. Yeah, that's it. Let's add some effects to it, because shouldn't be that lonely. So what I usually use is the classic, which pretty much every engineer used back in the day, which is the AMS reverb. I have the expanded version from the UAD. And I set this to the nonlinear 2 mode, and then having a bit of a pre-delay set. And then I've added also a little bit more of a delay. A very short one, ping pong delay, 50 milliseconds, around 50 milliseconds, to add a bit more depth to the room. It almost sounds like a slap delay or something. Yeah, like a slap delay. And that's about it. I think using a synthesizer for that gives you much more flexibility, because now you can tune and shape the sound as you wish. With a sample, you're not really that flexible anymore. And with here, you're basically using the real Simmons drum, because now I can even change the waveform. if you want to. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Now that you know how to build this in a Zebra, remember you have these 3 components, or just 2, trying a waveform and noise. You can do this also with other synthesizers, like the Silent. I did the same thing with the Silent, you know. I have as a component here the triangle waveform, and as the second component noise. And I just did the same thing like I did here. And it works perfectly. Then I've even done it with the Retrologue. This is the built-in synthesizer from Steinberg, and it sounds almost the same. This is also a trick what I did. What you can use is, if you don't have multiple oscillators, you can use that very one noise oscillator what you have, and you put just 2 different envelopes on it for the loudness. So you have one envelope which makes that attack portion, and another envelope which does the regular volume shape. Now I'm going to play my jam track with the 3, so you can hear the slight difference in sound. So I start with the Zebra, then I'm going to the Simmons, and then I'm going to the Retrologue, so you can listen to it. Okay, let's start with it. I hope you learned something out of this. There was a lot of fun doing it for me. This is my daily business, and I think for the 80s it's very important to nail this sound. Now you know how to do this with your synthesizer without the need for buying the original. And if you learned something out of this and like what you've seen so far, please smack that like button and subscribe to my channel. Leave also comments below, so I know what is going on. Then I would say up to the next one, which is coming soon. And see you next time, guys. I'm Monta. Bye-bye.